What's up, everybody? The Amex starts in about an hour, so figured let's go through the entire board to see if there's any matchups that have any value for you guys. I'm going to start on our matchup tool. This is on our site at sharpsightgolf.com. Basically, I built this. Basically, what it does is it takes the strokes gained data from the last 12, 36, 48 rounds. Same with proximity data. Takes account the course fit, course history, how a player has played at a certain course, and then we weight all that, and it spits out a implied probability for each golfer to win. And then we basically cross-reference that with the sportsbook's odds. So like Ricky Fowler, for example, minus 111, that's around a 53% implied probability that he's going to win that matchup. So we have it around a 53.5%. So let's go through this. I'm going to go through this tool and then cross-reference it with our player comparison tool because this thing's sick, and it'll show you how each player stacks up against one another. So let's just jump right in. All right. So I feel like most of you guys either play on FanDuel or DraftKings. So let's look at FanDuel first. Patrick Cantlay versus Ben Griffin. Ben Griffin's a minus 125 favorite. That kind of stacks up, but that is an interesting one. Let's see how they compare. Cantlay just played really good on the stadium course, and he's got, I believe, the La Quinta course today, which is kind of huge for him because in terms of like outrights, because if he can win or not win, but if he can put, I don't know, -8, -7 round and on the La Quinta, he's got a good shot coming into Sunday, considering how well he played on the stadium course. All right, where's old Benny at? Ben Griffin, here we go. Man, so Ben Griffin has dominated over the last 36. Let's go to the last 12. This is our player comparison tool, by the way, guys. So it compares players head to head. You can pick however many rounds you want to do. You could do last 4 if you want, last 8. I like to do last 12. That's the last 3 tournaments usually. So it kind of gives you a good indication of how the player's been playing. If you go down, let's detail comparison. Yeah, Ben Griffin's been playing some really good golf. But honestly, Patrick Cantlay's been driving the ball well. And his approach numbers are better than Ben Griffin. And on this course, the one that they're playing, at least, those are the two that I'm mainly targeting. You have to really score here, especially on the par 5s and the par 4s. And if you can get off the tee, put yourself in the fairway and have birdie looks, that's going to yield some success. So let's see how they played yesterday. All right. I know Ben was shot. Where is he at? I know here you go. They're both tied still. Yeah, just a solid round of golf at the stadium. The only reason I'm going to PGAtour.com to look at this is because of, or the PGA Tour app is because I wanted to see, because they actually have they have strokes gain data that you can actually look at for the stadium course, not for La Quinta and Nicklaus course. Man, he did not drive the ball well at all. He went out of bounds on one hole. So again, that's where if you're actually watching the tournament, the stats don't always tell a story because, I mean, one ball out of bounds on I believe it was the par 5. Yeah, it was this hole right here. Yeah, it went out of bounds. I mean, that's, that's a -2 on the strokes gained off the tee. So something not to really worry about. He's putted well. Putting is the ultimate unknown, though. So, yeah, I don't know. I lean Cantlay on this matchup. I think that he's played the most solid golf out of the two over the first 2 days, and I like it at a +100 price. Go down to this one is an interesting one. So Robert McIntyre has a 1.8% edge on our site compared to Wyndham Clark. Bobby Mack putted awful yesterday. I mean, he lipped out for the first 7 holes. He almost broke his putter again. I was honestly surprised that he didn't break his putter again, and just kind of played scratchy. That one is one that I'm like, I think Bobby Mack would bounce back. Here, let's go to our player comparison. I know that Bobby Mack's going to have unreal stats compared to to Wyndham Clark. There's just no way that he doesn't. The way that, no, not Jason Day, although that is an interesting one to look at. All the way down at the bottom. All right, let's do last 12. Yeah, I mean, McIntyre has almost a 0.6 advantage in strokes gained total. He's putting the lights out of the ball of late. Losing strokes around the green to Clark, and then they're basically, Clark's got him by a little bit there. But then off the tee, I mean, Wyndham Clark's been awful off the tee the last three tournaments he's played. Yeah, I mean, Bobby Mack is just the clear advantage on this one. Their proximity numbers, I'm interested to see. Pretty much the same. Yeah, pretty much the same. I don't know. After looking at that, I don't know, guys. If you have a question or a matchup that you want me to go through, let me know. But I was thinking that was going to be a matchup to target. I'm not so sure anymore. All right, let's go through our positive edges only real quick before I wrap this up, because I know the tournament's starting in, less than an hour. All right. We have Fowler, 0.45, barely over Rose. Rose putted unbelievable yesterday. Don't know if he can replicate that. I'm always weary of backing guys that shot 61, 62, especially if they're making putts from 20, 30 feet. I mean, if you're just hooping it, it's hard to replicate that 2 straight days. So again, not so sure about that. Bet 365. This is a good example, guys, of what I'm talking about. So Bet 365 has this at even money, which it's a crime that it's minus 111, minus 111, but I digress on that. But if we go to FanDuel, Ben Griffin minus 125, Patrick Cantlay plus 100. So clearly, and there's no edge here. So because the odds have changed, now there's not necessarily an edge for Ben Griffin on FanDuel, but if you can get this price, there is. That's the biggest edge of the day. I don't know if I would 100% love that. I'm just weary that Cantlay's played so rock solid over the past 2 days with the driver and with his iron play that's something that I'm weary of. I'm also weary of this one. I know our model likes it, but Gerard is a guy that is very streaky with the putter. And if he doesn't putt well, man, he does not score. We saw that kind of at the Sony. I think it was round 1. He did not putt that well. He did not score well. So something to keep an eye on. Let's keep on rolling. I don't really love a lot of these. Well, I would not take any of these. Again, our model doesn't really factor in putting as much as others. Putting's the ultimate unknown because the putter can come and go. Yes, you can, have good strokes gain data or putt well one day, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to putt well the next day. Another thing about strokes gain putting that I absolutely hate is you almost get punished for having good proximity numbers. So, for example, if you are spraying your irons and you are 40, 50, 60 feet away, and then you putt it within 3 feet, you're going to gain strokes putting. Well, just because you did a good job lag putting doesn't mean you really had a serious chance of making that putt, yet you're gaining strokes. And so the better iron players typically are lower on strokes gained putting. That's another reason why we don't love having that as like a metric that we weight heavily. So this is interesting. Scotty Scheffler, -4. There's no way. -400 against in a matchup is absolutely ridiculous. Holy cow. I guess that's just where he's at right now. I mean, he's basically Tiger Woods 3.0. It's crazy. I say 3.0 because Jack Nicklaus and Tiger Woods, now him. So, all right, I'm going to go on. Where are we at? Let's go to Bet Online because that's the book that we're currently using. This one is interesting to me, even though we don't have an edge. Cootie over Lee. Let's look at their player comparison on that. Let's go last 16. Minwoo's been playing a lot in Australia, so his game should be pretty ready to go. Where is he? He should be in the M's. Why they got him down here anyway? All right. And then my dude, Pearson Cootie. There we go. Wow, Pearson has dominated this. Holy cow. So 0.7. He's gaining. Let's go to the detailed comparison so you guys can see. All right. So Minwoo's been awful in PGA Tour sanctioned events over the last 4 tournaments. He's losing 1 stroke total, losing strokes off the tee, losing strokes off an approach, losing strokes putting. Only thing he's gaining is around the green, but barely. Clear winner here in Pearson Cootie. They're playing, I believe they're playing the La Quinta. So let's go. I want to look at something real quick. Okay. Yeah, I really like Pearson Cootie over Minwoo Lee after looking at this. Yeah, Minwoo Lee guys in our par 5 scoring. So par 5 scoring is huge on La Quinta. So La Quinta has 2 par 5s back to back. I believe it's on the back. And then they have 2 very gettable par 5s on the front. If you score on that, you're basically already setting yourself up with a 4, 5, 6 under round. Cootie is by far the best player strokes gained par 5 in our Amex par 5 scoring model, which took an account over the last 20 rounds. So he's dominating the par 5s. I believe he struggled a bit with the putter on the stadium course, but that's to be expected considering how easy the Nicklaus course is putting wise. I mean, it's like going from night and day. It's like going to a practice putting green that is rolling 9, and then you go to the first tee and the stent meter is rolling at like 11 or 12. Like you just can't. It's very, very hard to go from each course and putt well on each course. So that's why I like to look at ball striking. That's why I like to look at the Amex scoring stuff. Based off of that, I mean, yeah. Where's he at on this one? Yeah, another guy in the top 20 of scoring. So yeah, that's a matchup that, I mean, we don't have an edge on, but that's something that I really like. Let's go through one more time to look at everything. See if there's anything else. Again, I would lean Fowler at this price. I also lean Eric Cole at this price. I believe Tom Hoge is due for one of those awful driving rounds that he's had, or that he has in the bag. And then honestly do like Bobby Mack. I think he bounces back pretty in a nice way with the putter, just because, I mean, you can't putt worse than he did yesterday. And like I said, it's hard to go from one course putting well to the next course putting well, just because they're different greens. And if they're different greens, you know, you might be overreading, you might be underreading, you might be leaving a couple things short. So, yeah, favorite one is Pearson Cootie by far. That's probably my favorite, and I hope you guys cash all your bets. I hope this helped, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.